Quick survey. Let me know what level you're playing at, what team you're playing for. Put it in the comments below. And while you're doing that, I just want to give you a little insight, a little background into how this video was actually created. I was thinking about how can I make an impact on an athlete in just a couple of minutes that's not only going to help them with this video, but it's going to impact them for a long period of time. And, just as athletes condition their bodies physically, they get stronger physically. Wouldn't you agree that the same thing is true for our mind? Don't we have to do the same thing with our mind? A lot of us think our brain is like a computer or a hard drive where it just downloads information. When in reality, it needs oxygen, it needs water, it needs food, it needs exercise, it needs development, just like our body. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to make a bold claim and say this is going to be something that's going to help you not only today, but if you implement, you take action, it will help you for months, years down the line. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my quick backstory is, high school athlete, college athlete, coach, business owner. And I want to tell you a quick story about myself, and it'll tie perfectly to how you can actually condition yourself. So as a Division I athlete, you have aspirations of playing professionally and doing all of these great things. And playing at a small Division I school, my senior season came and it was average, below average at best, but I always had aspirations to play professionally. So, I put work in, I put in time physically, I put in time, getting extra skill work in, and maybe you've probably done the same thing. And it always wasn't paying off. What happened in a practice wasn't the same thing that would happen in a game. So where's the gap? Where's the disconnect? So the first 7 or 8 games of my senior season, I absolutely kill it. I absolutely crush it. I'm in the top 10 of the nation in home runs. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling on top of the world. And then emotionally, I'm feeling up here. The next 6 games, I ended up striking out 11 times. So I went from up here to... Emotionally, it felt like I splattered on the ground. Now you say it doesn't sound like a big deal, but to me at the time it was, because I didn't understand what I'm about to share with you today. I didn't understand that my brain was like a muscle and I needed to continue conditioning it instead of falling victim. We fall into these old patterns, these old beliefs that snag us. And for a lot of athletes, derail us, end our careers. So whatever it is that you want, whether it's, better relationships with teammates, coaches, parents, you want to achieve more, you want to be able to take your skills from practice to the game, you want to be able to execute those skills, get the numbers, get the statistics, get all of the records that you want, or you want control, you just want to dominate, you want to go out there and compete and win. Or you're tired of losing, you're tired of not performing well, you're tired of letting your teammates down. Whatever your situation is, it starts with this one thing. And I'm going to give you exactly the way to do it, but there's an interesting part about this. There was a survey done by the NCAA, and 58% of the athletes surveyed, over 10,000 athletes, 58% admitted to having some sort of anxiety, some sort of anxiousness problems. 39% admitted to having some sort of anger-related problems. Admitted. You and I both know, we've taken surveys where we fill in what we think the right answer should be, instead of what the fuck is going on inside of us. So that 58%, that 39% is probably a lot higher. So I've always been obsessed with this question ever since I was a kid. I was a high school athlete, college athlete, coach, business owner. We get snags at all of those different areas that I just explained. And my mind has always wondered, why do people do what they do? Why do some people have success and some people not? Why does someone with nothing end up being a superstar, and his neighbor in the same situations with the lack of resources ends up doing nothing? And on the flip side, the athlete, the player that has all of the money, all of the time, all of the camps, all of the lessons, all of the training that he could need, ends up doing nothing with it. And his neighbor that gets the same resources ends up being a superstar, and anything in between. Well, why does that happen to athletes? Why does that happen to us? Because I can tell you that happens at the high school level, the college level. That happens at, the level of coaching. I've been a coach for 6 years. A business owner, it happens as a business owner. We get snags all the time in those areas. So the question is, if I went from here to here in a matter of a week, it wasn't my physical conditioning. It wasn't that I physically couldn't do it anymore. Mentally, my brain went off the edge. Emotionally, my brain went off the edge. So how do you prevent that? How do you stop that from happening? So just like you condition your body, when you condition your body, you know that this is your ideal body. This is where you are now. We want to go in a straight line. We want to get there as quick as we can. But we know that there's going to be snags. We know that there's going to be problems along the way. There's going to be setbacks. This line's going to be like this. It's going to be zigzagging. It's going to be way up and then way down. And then sometimes it might just be a little bump. And then, we're going to get there. But how do you make this where it has less ups and downs and a little bit easier? And, when we go really high up or we go really high down, how can we course correct and get back on path a lot quicker? It's really about being familiar with this future self. If everything turned out exactly the way I wanted it, 6 months from now, a year from now, and I was the perfect version of myself, where I achieved for my teammates, I achieved for my coaches, I achieved for my parents, I executed, I transferred skills from practice to the games, I got all of the numbers, I got all of the statistics, I won, I dominated, I controlled games, I controlled situations. If everything happened exactly the way I wanted it, and this was my perfect self 6 months from now, a year from now, how would that person react? How would that person decide when I get snug, when I get up a little bit or down a little bit or backwards a little bit? How would this person decide? Not how would this person decide? How would this version of myself decide? Ooh. Then all of a sudden the decision making becomes a little bit easier and the conditioning process becomes a little bit clearer. And it's not a matter of, okay, this person's deciding, not this person. It's a matter of conditioning yourself to make the decisions that your ideal self would make. Not this version of yourself with the actions and beliefs that you need to give up, the thing that keeps getting you stuck. You see, when I was an athlete in college and I fell off this cliff, I had all of these beliefs, I had all of these actions that were programmed into me from when I was a kid that I didn't choose. I didn't consciously choose them. That doesn't mean I'm a victim. It's my responsibility to choose them. I didn't choose them soon enough, though. I didn't choose them quick enough. And for athletes, that can be deadly. Your career can end like that. Because this window of athletics is very narrow. It's very short. We can't be an elite athlete until we're 60, 70, 80, 90. You can argue about, different sports and these incredible people that do things at an older age. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you, where you are now. So get familiar with this future self. Get familiar with this version of yourself. And start making decisions, start conditioning your mind in what this version of yourself would do, and not the one that's hung up, not the one that's stuck right now. So, appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.